Hi geeks, I hope you enjoy Rise of Ronin until now. As I see in my several videos, you ask me how to find someone and make them join your allies team. So I think about it what happened if I create a video to answer all your questions and also give some more detail about all the allies in the game. So I create this video which is show you how to make them join your team, also about their main and secondary weapon, their special ability when you bring them with yourself, which called blessing, and also what they learn you and what they give you when you reach maximum bone level 4 with them. So I should ask you, please subscribe to my channel and leave some comments for me if you find this video useful and like it. Also, beside all of them, you can share it with your friends to make my video scenes more and I grow up faster. Thank for all your kindness about my last videos because they are seen more than others of my video, and here I should thank you twice for this. Be with me with this new video. Ryoma Sakamoto, he become available and join your party when you complete the Ronin mission called Certain File Certain Rise, and he will fight with the katana as his primary weapon and the handgun for his second weapon. Also, his blessing is a trigger of dawn which will increase the bullets you can carry with your handgun and also add some fire damage to your handgun bullets. Also, he will learn you Hukashin Eto Ray combat style for your katana from the chi tree and will give you 2 charm skill point if you reach to his 4th bound level and get fated with him. Gonzo is another person can join your team when you're doing the certain fast certain rise Ronin mission, but to do it and attempt mission you need to spare his life and don't kill him. He fight with the Odachi and also use a smoke bomb as his secondary weapon, and his blessing is a fire offering ashes which will give you more money when you defeat the enemy. He will learn you Nodogachi Jigin Ray combat style for your Odachi, and also it's from the Chi skill tree. He will give you 2 strange skill point and smoke bomb gesture and also do companion assassination when you reach to the fated level with him and be at the bound level 4. Takasugi join your team after you doing the trial like bound mission, which is become available after you doing follow your blade twin Ronin mission. He fight with the 2 kind of weapon, the one of them is katana and second one is polearm. Also he use a firebomb cluster as his secondary weapon. His blessing is good enough and can increase the damage deal with your sub weapons, and when you mix it with the Ryoma it's become unstoppable. And he will learn you 3 combat style, one of them for katana which is the Yugu Shinkage Ray from the Chi tree, and the second one is a Shinto Meneu Ray from the Tin tree for polearm, and the last one is become available at the 3rd and 4th bound level which is the Keihaiti style for your oxtail blade from the Teen tree, and also he will give you 2 intelligence skill when you reach a maximum bone level with him. Kusaka join your team like the Takusagi, and after doing the Way of the Warrior bound mission which is become available after doing follow your blade twin Ronin mission, and he fight with the pierced sword, and in the Way of the Warrior you need to fight with him with these weapons too, and he doesn't have any secondary weapon, and his blessing is a grassroot which is reduce the key customs for the material skills, and also he will learn you 1 skill for your paired sword from the teen tree which is the Nathan Ichi Ray combat style, and he will give you 2 more strange skill when you reach to maximum bone level with him. Katsura join your team in the 2 way. The first one is complete the palette of assassinated Harris for the anti-shogunist faction, and the second one, if you do the last step for the shogun, is to do the seed of the Dobbs bound mission, and after that he join your team, and this one become available after you doing the follow your blade twin. As you know, he fight with the katana for his main weapon, because one time you fight with him, and his secondary weapon is a sage battle, and his blessing is a sleeping Kogoro, which is make the enemies harder to see you and notice you when you near them. And he will learn you one combat style for your katana, which is the Shinton Meno or Ray combat style from the Teen Tree, and will give you 2 charm skill when you reach maximum bone level with him. Mateo Perry is a person who you need to kill at the second mission of the game, but here after completing Taste of Friendship bound mission, he joined your team. To can get access to this mission, first you need to complete Follow Your Blade Twin Ronin mission, and after that one other bound mission which is called Black Jewel become available from Marcus Samuel, and after that you can meet him and Mato in the Grand Villa of the Yokohama, and after that you can accept this bound mission. He fight with the saber and handgun for his secondary weapon, and his blessing is a white wall hunter, which increases the damage of your handgun and the best to meet with the Ryoma, and he will learn you US training for your saber from the Teen Tree, and also give you 2 intelligent skill point and smoke gesture when you reach maximum bone level with him. Jules Brunet join your team after you defeat him as a boss fight in the Cultural Exchange Ronin mission, and at that boss fight he fight with the saber and the shield, which is his main weapon when you go with him in any mission, and he doesn't have any secondary weapon. His blessing is a Faithful Cavalry, which is reduced amount of the key uses when you at the guarding state, and he will give you 2 strange skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him, but he doesn't learn you any combat style, but give you one of the best armor and good looking one in the game, which is the regiment armor, and I really love it because I do half of the game with it. Yasusuke Sawamura will join your team after you doing in the Search of the Knowledge bound mission for the Fukazuwa, which is become available after the Ronin mission called Cultural Exchange, which is the last mission where you Jules Brunet join your team. He fight with the katana and the polearm, and also use light ninja's shuriken as his secondary weapon, and his blessing is a very good one and increase the damage you can deal with your grappling rope and the shuriken attacks if you use them. And also he will learn you 2 kind of combat style with the same name for your katana and polearm from the Shinobi skill tree, which is one of the special one, and your Hayabusa Ray combat style, and he will give you 2 dexterity skill and do combined assassination with you when you reach to the maximum bone level, and give you 1 special armor from the another Team Ninja game, which is from the Ninja Gaiden. Toshimichi Okubo join your team after you finishing Last Man in the Dust Strike Ronin mission and assist Princess Atsuko to run away from the Blue Hands demon and rescue her. He fight with his Odachi and Sake Battle as his secondary weapon, and his blessing is unshakable, which is makes you harder to flinch when you are build up your charge attack and enemy cannot make you back. Also he will learn you Jugen Ray combat style from the Teen Tree to your Odachis, and he will give you 2 more intellect skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Hirobumi Ito join your team in the first mission of the second chapter, which called the Fire Attack Ronin Mission. He fight with his bayonet in his bag and also use the fire bomb as his secondary weapon, and his blessing increase the damage deal with your last normal attack, and it's called Finishing Finest. And also he will learn you Kahaiti style for your bayonet from the Teen Tree and give you 2 charm skill when you reach maximum bone level with him. Aritomo Yamagata is like a Hirobumi Ito and join your team in the second chapter, first mission of the second chapter, which is the Fire Attack Ronin Mission, and he fight with the spear and the Sake Battle, and his blessing is one of the best because it will increase the damage you can deal to enemy when your health gets lower, and when you go for boss fight it can become very handy and useful. Also he will learn 1 combat style to your spear from the Chi Tree, and it's a Hoisin Ray combat style. Also, he will give you 2 intellect skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Sana Shiba is one of the few women join your team to fight beside you because there are not too many. She will join after you do Deadly Blade Demon Bella Ronin missions. As you can see, she fight with his polearm and also use a longbow to defeat her enemy. And her blessing is a bellflower in the breeze, which reduces the amount of the dodging movement usage. And also, she will learn you Hugashin Ito Ray combat style for your polearm from the Chi tree and give you 2 dexterity skill point when you reach to the fated level with her. Eiichi Shibusawa come to your team after you finish something to show the world bound mission, which is become available after the Ronin mission. Deadly Blade Demon Believer is Sana Shiba join your team and he fight with the 2 weapons. One of them is bayonet for his first weapon and ornate rifle for the secondary one, and I don't know why he used 2 kind of weapon. And his blessing is really useful if you don't have too many medicine pills in your inventory or don't unlock the free medicine pills skill point, because he increases the rate of the enemies drop them. And also he will learn you French training combat style for your bayonet from the Chi tree and give you 2 more intellect skill point when you reach maximum fate level with him. Kiyotaka Kuroda is like a Eiichi Shibusawa and join your team after you finish something to show the world bound mission, which is become available after Deadly Blade Demon Bella Ronin mission. He fight with his katana and wine bottle as a secondary weapon, and his blessing is one of the trashiest because it's increased the damage you can deal to enemy with the maximum health, and most of the time it's not become very useful and handy. Also, he will learn 1 skill point to your katana and it's a Jigen Ray from the Teen Tree and give you 2 charm skill when you reach maximum bound level with him. Kaishu Katsu is a general of the navy in the Shogun's government and he become available after you going to kill him in the Ronin mission called Meeting Kaitsu Katsu. It's him and he will fight with the katana and the firebomb for his secondary weapon, and his blessing is a ringtone heart, which is increase the effect of other person blessing and will give you 2 intellect skill point and 1 gesture, which is the rest, but he doesn't learn you any combat style. Yoshinobu Tokugawa is a shogun himself and become available after you doing the Ronin mission, a show for the shogun and fight in front of he, and at the last you need to fight with himself. He fight with the katana and the odachi and can make them burning and deal some fire damage to the enemy. Also use a throwing spike for his secondary weapon, and his blessing is the curse of the shogun, which is make the increased rate of Ki Kongo become full much faster, and also learn you Yagu Sinkuj Ray combat style for your Odachi from the Chi tree and give you 2 skill points when you reach maximum bone level with him. Deishu Takahashi, he's the second person you fight during the Ronin mission, a show for the Shogun, and to make him join your team, first you need go to the training ground, which is become available during that Ronin mission, and after that go to the place where his shogun and the officer are and speak with him and do 1 dojo training practice or anything, and after finishing that and you speak with him and he will join your team. He fight with the spear and doesn't have any secondary weapon, and he will increase the damage dealt by pressing attack in his blessing, and also learn you Jitokun Ray combat style for spear from the Teen tree and give you 2 special skill point from the Strange tree. Jigoro Kano is the only kid join your team, and to make it happen, first you need to do bound mission Strange in the Softness, which is become available after doing a show for the Shogun Ronin mission, and it's for the Ito and the Yamagata. He fight with his unarmed and very fist and don't use any weapon, and his blessing is about it, and if you doesn't use the berry hand you need to forget him because will it increase the exchange for any successfully unarmed counter spark you do. And when you reach the maximum bond level with him he will give you 2 dexterity skill and he doesn't learn you any combat style. Motsugai Takeda is become available after you finish in the search of new discovery bound mission for Fukuzawa, and it's become available when you reach to end of the second chapter and you need to pick up all your items to go to the third chapter and Kyoto, so don't forget to do it. He is like a Kano and fight with his berry hand and doesn't use any item, and its blessing is increase the damage you can deal with your unarmed combat. And when you go for a mission to learn a trophy about don't use any weapon and kill someone, you can bring him with yourself to make your power much more than all other types. And also he will give you 2 strange skill when you reach maximum bone level with him, and he doesn't learn you anything like Kano. Rutherford Alcock join your team after you complete a prize beyond reach bound mission for the Robert. Robert become available after you doing the first bound mission for Ine, and she asks you to find some lemon, and Ine become available when the Katsuka ask you to make the hospital run again, and you see Ine and she asks you also to help the hospital from the attacker, anti-shogunist attacker, and don't let them to burn them to ground. Alcock fight with the saber and the poison knife, and his blessing is a very useful when you are in the fight with the boss fights because it can increase the build up enemy statement alignments, and when you use an item like a lightning damage or fire damage you can easily make the enemies unmovable or burns. And also he will learn you British training combat style for the saber from the Chitri and give you 2 intellect skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Alexandria Moreau is a moon like Alcock, and you need to do everything about Alcock about her, but here at last you need to complete an unexaggerating flower bound mission for her to become available and join your party. When you're doing first mission for the Ina you fight with her and she used the whiplash and the longbow and they are her weapons. Also she's blessing is a scarlet mandrake which is apply poison to your primary weapon when you active blazing and don't use the fire damage. Also she will give you 2 intellect skill point and 2 garden explanation when you reach maximum bone level with her. Also she increase effective of your medicine and do some combined assassination with you when you're doing it on your enemy. Toranosuke Shimada, you fight with him when you doing the second mission for the Ine, but to make him join your team after the Deadly Blade Demon Bella Ronin mission, you get access to the bound mission for the Mr. Odani. It's called the Three Blade of Era, and when you do it, he will join your team. He fight with the katana, and his blessing is increasing the damage dealt by you and your allies when you using the key blazing, and it's very useful when you are in the boss fight. Also he doesn't learn you any combat style but give you 2 strength skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Koto Nakazawa, she's the only person use a great sword to fight in the battlefield, and she joined your team after you doing the Temper Ronin mission. And as I said, she used a great sword to fight with the enemy and doesn't has any secondary weapon. Also she's blessing is a really something because when some of your allies get down or your main character get down temporarily they increase the defense and their power when they fight with the enemy, and it's called dancing with the death. Also she will learn you one combat style for your great sword from the chi tree, which is the Hoshin Ray combat style and also give you 2 strange point when you reach maximum bone level with her. Tesshu Yamaoka is like Nakazawa and join your team when you finish a Temper Ronin mission, but the first time you meet him is during the show for the Shoguns and you fight with him at the first match of the tournament. Also, when you remember, he fight with the katana and doesn't have any secondary weapon. And also, his blessing is a rampaging oni, which is increase the damage you can deal when you using counter attack. Also, he doesn't learn you any combat style, but give you 2 dexterity skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Isami Kondo is a head of the Shinzongame and join your team and become available after you finish the Ronin mission, the Shogun's journey to the Kyoto. He fight with his Odachi and doesn't has any secondary weapon. Also, his blessing is the Wolf of Mibu, which is increase the damage you can deal to the enemy when you using your critical hits. Also, he will learn you Tenet Rishin Ray combat style for your Odachi from the Teen Tree and give you 2 skill point when Toshizo Hijikata is like Isami Kondo and become available after you finish the Shogun's journey to the Kyoto. He uses a paired sword as a main weapon and doesn't has any secondary weapon, and his blessing is a very special when you mix it with the Kondo because he increases the life of the enemy remain in their panic state and give you a good window to can use critical hits, which is improved by the Kondo's blessing. Also, he will learn you Tenoration Roy for your paired sword from the Teen Tree, like Sami for your Odachi, and he will give you 2 dexterity skill when you reach your maximum bone level with him. Soji Okita is like a Kondo and Hijikata and join your team after you finish the Shogun's journey to the Kyoto Ronin mission. He fight with his extended katana and doesn't has any secondary weapon, but to bring him with yourself in any mission you should think twice because with the glass blade you deal more damage when you use a material skill, but also use double key and you should think about it. And he'll learn you Tenoration Ray combat style for your katana, like 2 ones before with the same name for the different weapon from the Teen Tree and give you 2 dexterity skill when you reach maximum bone level with him. Shinpachi Nagakura is another member of the Shinzongame, but he doesn't join your team after the Shogun's journey to Kyoto, so you need to progress more through the story until you reach to the foregoing Betrayal Ronin mission, and after that you can have him beside yourself when you go in the animation. He fight with his Odachi and like other member of the Shinzongame doesn't has any secondary weapon, and his blessing is a Shinzongame sober, which is increased damage when your health is full. So if you know how to parry attack and counter them, this one is become very powerful one in the game and can help you a lot. Also, he will learn you one combat style for your Odachi from the Teen Tree, which is the Shinton Minun Ray combat style, and also give you 2 strange skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Hajime Saito is the last person of the Shinzongame who will join your team, and like Nagakura, he will join after you doing foregoing Betrayal Ronin mission. He fights with the katana and he's the only person from the Shinzongame who has a secondary weapon and it's a handgun. Also, his blessing is a invincible blade, which is increase your damage to the panic enemy. Also, he will learn you Magua Ray combat style for your katana from the Jin Tree and give you 2 dexterity skill point when you reach maximum bone level with him. Takamori Saigo is the last person from the Satsuma clan who joined your team, and this will happen when you finish the Satsuma Chosu Allies Ronin mission where you make 2 big clan in the Japan's one, and he fight with his iron staffs and you see him too many times when you fight with him, and he doesn't have any secondary weapon. Also, his blessing is a Star of the Satsuma, which is makes your charge attack damage more than usual, and he will give you two charm skill and one gesture, which is the Samo stamps when you reach maximum bone level with him. Ernest Satow is the last foreigner people who join your team after doing a priceless treasure bound mission. You first time see him in the Kyoto, but when you come back as an enemy, but when you come back to the Edo for the second time, you can do two bound mission for him, and after doing the first one, he will join your team. Also, he fight with like a bayonet, as you can see in your first fight with him in the third chapter, and also use a sticky bomb for secondary weapon. And his blessing is a soaring protonation, which is increased damage by your all aerial attack, and he will learn some combat style for your bayonet from the chi tree, which is the British training combat style. Also give you 2 intellect skill point when you reach maximum bound level with him. Akikatsu Manabe is your first enemy and also a last allied who join your team. He will join after you doing the wildfire Ronin mission and do one bound mission for some random guy in the some place in the Kyoto. It's random happens, but to make it happen, first you need to in the chapter 1 when you attack to the Nakusaka Lee, you need to spare his life and doesn't kill him in the Ronin mission, the Sakura Gate Inhibited, and he fight with the katana and the throwing knives, which will deal some lightning damage and make the enemy unmovable. Also, his blessing is a hidden menace, which is minimized sounds by your moving and make you a real person when you go for the stealth mission and doesn't want to fight with the enemy. And also he will learn you one combat style from the shinobi tree, which is one of the specialist one in the game. This is the Geikyu Ray combat style for your katana. Also he will learn you one gesture when you reach third level, which is the kneeling bow, and also two dexterity skill when you reach maximum bone level with him. Okay, geeks, it's all about the allied in the Rise of Ronin and how you can make them join your team and their ability. So if you find the videos useful, please subscribe to my channel, leave some comments for me and likes. Also share it with your friends because I'm at start of my way and your help is everything I should ask. Be kind with me and share it, please. Thanks you for watching this video. Have a good time, geeks, till my next video.